All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back then to the Dreamhack Winter Dota 2 Corsair Vengeance Cup. We're going to be going into EG versus No Tide Hunter in just a moment. Hope you enjoy some of the filler videos while we've been filling some of the stuff. I've actually done that on Rubik, by the way. Not to that extent, but I have. I just stole the spell and just hit the first button that it was. I didn't get too much agility, but it was a little bit painful. It's very true. It's very true. They. Toby. Oh, there's no sound for Toby. It was a very sexist joke anyway. Shiva's not here, is she? Okay, that's fine. We can put is your mic still not working?
My mic is working absolutely fine right here. I can hear myself.
Can you hear Toby? Well, that's fine. Let's continue. So
he's only casting the next game. It's nothing important.
So
we managed to fix Dota TV. We managed to completely destroy the PA system.
This is brilliant. So basically, the guy that came from Dreamhack to fix your problem made another problem.
Fantastic.
We'll make Toby do things. Professionals on this side of the table. So, Jaskal, sorry, you look the same. How's your mic? I don't think his mic works. Does Draskal's mic work? No, it doesn't work.
James, we have to get him a short break.
This yellow thing here is Dendy, currently riding.
We're going into a short break.
I can't hear you. Should we just go for a break while these amateurs? Toby's probably just unplugging his microphone between the break. I mean, seriously, trying to sabotage the good studio. This is what Join Dota is trying.
Amateurs.
We're just going to go to a short break right here. When we come back, there would probably be no more Dota 2. See you in a moment.
Aww.
I believe you're
Wait. Yes, I have a voice. I have a voice. And the guys are saying sound is back. So
Is it back? Oh, I can hear myself.
yes,
now. That's
it's
fantastic
amazing.
news. Can somebody please tell Dreamhack that the sound wasn't working for the last like 5 minutes? That would be
Yeah, that'd be
fantastic.
really, really good, guys. Everyone on the Twitch TV, tell Dreamhack the sound wasn't working right. Can we have the official go? Can we have the official go from the backstage crew?
Trance is like pulling his hair out right now.
Yeah. So we just want to fly this? You want to fly with this one?
Yeah, sure, let's go for it.
Fantastic. Let's do that. Let's absolutely do that. So, welcome everybody here to the final pick of our EG vs No Time Under game. Do we power draft this? We can power draft this. Maybe we can't even do that. We're just going to talk about it because we're inside the game. So EG vs No Time Under. We're in Group B. This is the second round of games. EG went through pretty comfortably in their first game, and No Time Hunter, well, we got to watch their one here on the live stream if you missed it.
Yeah, it was definitely good to watch the last game. Honestly, I think Four Friends put up more of a fight than most people were expecting. It was a pretty close game. Ultimately, No Tidehunter with, in my opinion, a superior late-game draft managed to seal the deal, so
Yeah.
they trailed it out long enough. But against a team like Evil Geniuses, they've actually themselves taken a pretty surprise pick here in a Life Stealer.
Yeah, so Nake's been the final one. It is one of Fear's favorite heroes, but to pick up Nake's when we're already looking at TA, are we looking at even then a TA bomb? We saw Storm Bombs earlier today, but we've got TA, we've got Demon, and he's going to be on the Bat Rider, so we've already got 2 Blink Initiators coming out for Evil Geniuses. Then we've got Coddle as well as Rubik, so support central coming out from these boys. And then over towards No Titan, we'll get a bit of a, not a surprise pick, it's a hero which is appearing every now and then, and that is Luna, and it's going to be played by Loda. So Loda going to take up the harder carry for No Tidehunter, and that throws Eternal Envy supporting Vengeful Spirit, combining her with Aki as the Chikiro. Admiral Bulldog was in on off lanes. We were talking about his key heroes which he's been able to play during this competition, and that is the Bounty Hunter. So Bounty Hunter going to be played for the off lane for him, and that leaves the final one, S4, who should be our solo mag.
Well, I'm really curious to see how this next is going to work. Like we were talking about the next spawn potential, but more often than not, last time that EG has played this, it was usually him getting into Demon, and of course Demon's offlane Bat Rider is notorious. He does a lot of crazy things. He plays a little bit more aggressive than I think he has to at some points, but typically when they do this, they just have Milk sit in the jungle, stack the jungle, and then you have Demon go back. Even if he doesn't have a great offlane, he's always able to come back and get free gold experience, get that quick level 6, get your Blink Dagger up, and try to make Nags as effective as you can in the early game.
Yep. I want to say a big hello out there to everyone who's watching on the free Dota TV live stream, as well as for once we have audio going out on our Dota TV. We have audio for the people who have made their way over here to Dreamhack and are sitting here in front of the main stage watching us live, and for all those people out there who are continuously tuning in here on the official Dreamhack live stream for Dota 2. So big hello to you guys. Big hello to you guys.
It looks like both teams are actually heading towards each other here in the jungle. All 5 of No Tidehunter currently making their way towards EG Woods, and EG is walking up towards bottom lane themselves. Could possibly see a level 1 fight, but I don't know if EG really would want to take it at this point.
Yes, it's a risky kind of thing to do, and Fear, we already know that if he's able to get some space, not have to go to the rage, but then S4, he's able to pull Fear long way back, and the Ice Path's going to keep the rest of EG away. Fear has to rage. Is there enough damage? Right-click to do the damage. No, there's not. Eternal Envy pull back into the Coddle Blast, and Fear instantly popping off the salve when he feels he's far enough away. That could have been absolutely brutal for Fear if he didn't have that amazing BKB at level 1.
He had to skill it too, which is a little bit unfortunate. It makes his last hitting a little bit harder. He shouldn't suffer for it too much, though, considering the fact that it's going to be an offlane bounty hunter against 2 heroes. So, all that being said, he had to waste a little bit of regen. No real worse for Wear right now.
So we get to settle ourselves into the lane. So we'll be Loda playing safe lane Luna, which we do kind of expect when you walk around with only under 500 life points, as well as only 3 points in armor. So Demon, interested to know how aggressive he is going to be on that top lane up against the Luna.
Well, going up against a Luna, Bat Rider can get a lot done here. His range isn't fantastic, but he should be able to find farm here and there. It's just going to be down to how well the VS and the Chikiro can actually zone him out. In this particular case, it's more a matter of the fact that VS is going to be able to do it solo and let the Chikiro do pulling or anything like that. So,
let's just run through very, very quickly through our lanes too, because we didn't really get to talk about the draft much. So we'll run through No Tunnel to start with. So they're aggressive, they're defensive tri-lane, sorry. Eternal Envy on the Vengeful Spirit, Aki up on the Chikiro, Loader onto the Luna, in towards our middle lane is S4 solo mag, down towards our bottom lane, Admiral Bulldog is already getting stunned and harassed back here, and that's by Beatties who's playing the support Rubik. Fear, who's already going to be playing the #1 role for EG, and that's as much hard farm as possible. Geo, as always, solo mid, and a fantastic Templar Assassin going up against S4, and that throws Milk into a pulling the middle lane scenario, and that is as the Keeper of the Light, and then over towards Demon, who is basically top lane solo, and we wish him all the best of luck up here, because he's going to have no luck whatsoever, really, not up against a defensive tri-lane like this.
He's not going to be having a good time, but also you have to consider that EG has given themselves 2 real free lane wins here. Obviously the 2 hero spot him against the bounty. They dropped a sentry in the lane. There's not really much he's going to be able to do in the early game, so Admiral Bulldog's actually just walking here, pulling some creeps to try to find a little bit of a creative way to get some experience. He's probably going to take it to the big camp. He might even take it all the way back to his tower, but either way, if you can get some gold this way, it's just maximizing your efficiency in terms of mid. Being able to pull on Radiant side is actually pretty ridiculously hard to overcome, and Magnus against a TA, that's a little lopsided in TA's favor anyway, so he's going to be struggling as well.
Yeah. Just want to check out that middle lane. What are we actually looking as far as CS? 7-3-7-1, absolutely completely level until we see a couple more points getting up in that refraction. The bomb charge already going to be used up for that 2-minute rune. Gonna wait and see where it's going to spawn. If it's actually able to be controlled, invis room for the top, Mark's going to babysit it, but Eternal Envy trying to be here to control that, so Mark forced to take it so we don't get that bottle charge for Geo, which means the courier is going to come out of the base in a couple of moments' time. But it does also mean that Milk is already stalking Eternal Envy.
He's probably just going to go ahead and head back to the jungle. There's no real point in Keeper making his way towards the top lane. It's not like he can do anything. He has Illuminate, but it's not going to be enough to get a kill. He's trying to stop Envy from counter-warding, but there's no one else really here to help just yet. Throws out a stun, too. Might be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah,
Malk, he's starting off with a bit of a blast, a little bit of nice damage, and already 1 napalm stack. Secondary 1 going to happen as well. And a little bit of mana given back from Malk to himself. But they weren't really able to chase that one down any further, but still decent damage to VS, and that's going to mean he has to use the last points of his consumables if he wants to stay on lane and not head back any further. But we are losing a lot of time for Milk. He gets level 2, he's going to come back in towards that middle lane, just in time for the stack, maybe a little bit too late. Yeah, he can't stack that anymore, but he can pull in towards the middle lane, and I know it's a big contention right now of what happens when you're able just to clear off a couple of trees in here and then pull the creep wave from that middle lane down, because it basically denies off the entire middle lane and shifts the balance of power. So level 4.5 TA, under level 4 Mag, this is going to change right even more. So we'll see level 5 TA and Mag won't change.
I got to give the advantage here in the early laning phase to EG. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. As long as Demon doesn't die up here too much, he's going to be able to collapse into that jungle eventually once Keeper is done stacking. And you can already see he's actually pulling the big camp as well, because a small camp isn't usually enough to kill off an entire wave, especially with a catapult. You can sometimes get the big camp as well, which completely denies middle lane every other wave, give or take. And that's an advantage that Magnus can't really afford to give a TA, especially in the situation. So you're going to have a TA who's basically free farming right now. He's sitting at 21-2, highest in the game. He's hit almost every single CS basically at this point, and in that regard, Magnus is doing okay. He's got his bottle, so he's going to do the standard bottle curl. Looks like top lane, Envy picks off Demon in the meantime, so like I was saying, can't really give kills away, and he manages to do so.
Yeah, that's a really unusual place to get done too, so we're looking at the Jewel Breath, looking at the fire, and the Firefly didn't get him out in time. Lode looks like he managed to use 1 loosened beam, and the damage was enough to bring down Demon, so a slight overcommittal there by Demon. Probably trying to save himself with a flame break, but not working at the end of the day. At the same time, we're seeing Admiral Bulldog start to rotate right underneath the Radiant Ward, looking towards that middle lane, but just can't take it. And with the support in the bottom lane, it's very, very difficult to go up against Fear as it is. But Beaters, who sniped off the haste runes, still walking around with a couple of sentries. He's got everything he needs to try and bring down that bounty hunter.
Well, even if they don't kill him, I mean, Admiral Bulldog is going to be struggling down here until the supports basically leave, which is probably not going to be anytime soon. He might be able to snipe a creep here and there, but he doesn't have the luxury of going back to his jungle and getting basically a free blink dagger like Demon does. So even though he just got first blooded right there, which is obviously not a good thing, he still has something to come back to where Admiral Bulldog pretty much has to hit 6 before he's going to have any impact on this game.
Just looking to just snipe off one of the Centaurs then, but the Centaur getting the stomp at the wrong time, so Bulldog couldn't right-click. He's going to come out of his Ghost Walk at a time he's not really happy with, and Beaters picks him up and throws him down the river. Really nice play there by Beaters. He got a little bit lucky with the Centaur stomp just then, and just screwed up the time of Admiral Bulldog. That Luna though, Loader. Like, I know TA gets a lot of momentum, but we also know what's possible from Lunas. Get BKB, get the Mana Style up, and what are you really capable of doing against that?
My one worry about Luna in this situation, though, is you have a hero like Lifestealer who, in the mid-game, doesn't really care about things like Eclipse. You pretty much just pop your Rage and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And TA is kind of the same in that sense. Unless you manage to burn through Refraction first, they do have a Jakiro. It's going to be down to their pretty much mid-fight coordination that's going to allow them to take either of those heroes out in the early game.
Does mean they've got to get themselves in, and maybe Geo thinks about having a bit of a crack here at S4, but needs a little bit more side blade harassment before that's really going to be possible. And Mag, he's going to be really happy when he's actually not going up. Well, Bottle's going to fly out to him in a moment, but he can pick up Arcane Boots on the way through if that's going to be what he wants to do. Noticing most of the Mags I've seen so far today just require such a heavy mana pool that Arcanes really do help, but goes back to base. No, Ward's being picked up instead, and he'll walk up and pick up the Arcane Boots instead.
It's pretty standard build. Pretty much all Magnus who go mid at this point go for the bottle, crow it, then go Arcanes and Blink, and just make sure that you have that guaranteed initiation. That's why it's so popular nowadays, is because it's not really difficult to get into a fight in reverse polarity like it would be to Blink and Black Hole, because obviously the channel can get interrupted. Magnus doesn't suffer from that. He also has an escape mechanism after the fact, so if you blink in and it's not a good situation, you can just skewer back out, and because of the range on it now, it gets you out of trouble almost every single time.
So we now sit 7 minutes in. It's just continuously being just a passive game until these heroes hit the mark when they're happy to push out. Like, Fear doesn't really care too much. He's finished up his hand of Miles in the bottom lane in 7 minutes time. So he's getting all the farm that he wants. Beaters is already pulling, so he's finding his levels as well. Working up so far, sitting at level 4.5. So this bottom lane for EG is working 100%. And maybe both teams will be very, very content just to let this farm happen. They get all the items they want. None of them really want to pressure out too fast, like VS as well as Aki. If they can find a kill early on, then they'll go with it. But until we see S4 with Blink Dagger, until we see Luna with maybe a BKB or something along those lines, until Track comes up an Admiral Bulldog, these teams just probably won't want to engage. Just soak up the experience, find the gold you want, and then you try and set the tone when you want to make your move. And maybe this is going to happen. Aki now has smoke on him, so going to group up with Envy and might look for a kill.
Yeah, if they can pick off the TA middle, that's definitely huge. You want to stop the heroes who hit their stride the fastest as soon as you possibly can to ensure that you have space during the mid game, because if you go late with a Magnus, it becomes infinitely more scary to play against him the longer the game goes on, because for a second AoE stun through BKB, there's really nothing you can do to counteract that. They're going to have to rely heavily on their supports being in good position, so the longer this game goes on, I feel like Lifestealer, of course, will be a force, but Luna and Magnus together and power is probably going to be enough to take him out.
Geo going to find the haste room because he had to come in range for that one, which means now we see a big skewer and reverse polarity being used, then into the shockwave, really bringing him down fast. And there's another quick kill, so TA going down. Not to mention, I was just noticing a lot of the stacking coming out from No Tidehunter. They're stacking up the easy camp with the camp just off the east of that. It's prepping for Loader, who now has lifesteal, so once Helm of the Dominator comes up, that's going to be a big, big boost of cash coming his way. Maybe a bit of a counter gank on the bottom lane. Sentry Ward goes down, but just out of range. And Admiral Bulldog hides behind the tower. Doesn't want to show himself at all, because if Beatties gets a pickup, Bulldog's going to find himself in trouble. But already using the Fade Bolt, so maybe Admiral Bulldog feels this could be a moment to have a crack.
I really like the way that No Tidehunter is actually playing this, because they think that there's really no chance that there's going to be any rotation coming from the bottom lane towards top to contest it.
Aki, Ice Path is there. Demon's been using the trees, double TP coming towards the top lane. They've got to stop this TP out. They can't stop him though. And now TA Trap right here for Loader. They can really bring him down. It's going to be a big kill to bring down Loader this early on. The Howl of Terror trying to help out, but doesn't help out in the end. TA is the one that gets the kill. And Loader takes a fall just before he's able to stack up and get all these big items. And maybe even one more. S4, a little bit further out. There's the meld hit. Fear comes in with open wounds, but then again, Skewer into TP. There's nothing that can stop this. Beaters couldn't get there in time for the telekinesis.
Yeah, it was a good play. Even though No Tidehunter committed to that tower a little bit too heavily, actually dove past it looking for kills. You have to expect the TP reaction is going to come, especially at this point in the game. There's two supports who have gotten farm from the jungle. I mean, Beaters is level 5.5 right now, and it's not even 10 minutes in. So as a tri-lane support, he's actually done quite well for himself. But No Tidehunter has basically picked themselves into a situation where they only have to take a handful of team fights in the mid game to really get far ahead, because you have things like Track, and plus once that Magnus gets his Blink Dagger, which is pretty much going to be the go point for them, they have the initiation advantage until Demon gets up his own Blink, which brings up another point that this jungle actually hasn't been stacked that much for him, and Demon is getting ganked here top, and he doesn't seem to know about it.
Yeah, the VS does all they're really going to need to set up, and then Ice Path to follow through, already with the Dual Breath, and that's an easy kill for Loader. So 3 kills now going the way of No Tidehunter. And with that kill, he kind of gets himself a little bit more back on track. There's more and more farm just actually going the way of S4. He takes half of that stack just then. So he's looking for his level 11. It's definitely going to push him up to level 9 if he let off one more shockwave. But he has to come back in towards the middle lane. And then instantly trapped. Geo with the double damage room would like to push a little bit further. But after shockwave, they're just really not sure about it.
Honestly, I'm a bit surprised that the Magnus didn't take it himself. Honestly, if you think about it, if you get the Blink Dagger faster up on S4 at this point, you open yourself more room for the Luna to farm anyway, because you can try to pressure other lanes and just create that space for the Luna instead of giving the farm itself to her, because at the way that she's farming right now, she's not going to have a BKB for at least a little while, even with stacks, and without a BKB against the team that EG has, you can't really just waltz into a team fight unless somebody like a Magnus has a Blink Dagger.
And Admiral Bulldog, love how he's always getting in nice and deep. Now he has those phase boots already with the poor man shield. He's looking for an opening, and Demon is trying to find whatever farm he can from inside that jungle. And there's support coming in. Coddle Blast catches S4 as well as Envy trying to make that move in, and now they're too low on life. They're really not 100% sure they want to go for this. Sentry Wars looking for the vision, and there is one ward up on that high ground. And with Howl of Terror, yep, Envy will see it, but there's nothing more he wants to do about it. He has to come in too close and it's too risky.
Well, at this point, Ember Bulldog's got level 6, so basically just waiting for the Luna to farm up. At this point, 900 gold away for S4 on his Blink. He's going to go back up and spam that big creep stack that we saw earlier, and they're going to try to push into this tier 1 as well, and there hasn't been any reaction just yet. Demon's going from the side.
Don't know what he's really trying to 100% achieve with that one. Maybe a lasso pullback if he got lucky, and then TP support would come in, but no one was really wanting to be part of that.
The thing that kind of worries me is during the mid-game, like this Lifestealer, because he bought a Midas, he's basically committed himself to farming for a little while longer. He's not really ready to go in and do any real damage at this point, which I guess the way that No Tidehunter is playing it, it's going to work out okay, because they're not going to be ready to fight either until the Luna gets up at BKB. But how long is it going to take for Fear to really start feeling the effects of this Midas, and what is No Tidehunter going to be able to accomplish in that time to take advantage of it?
They're going to need something to take advantage of. Would be a hero's mispositioning, and that's going to be Gio now having himself a Blink Dagger, trying to go for Bulldog, and that really hit hard. Fade time at that, not kicking in when he would have hoped. So Bulldog dropping to basically no life whatsoever, just over 100, and buys up a bottle to try and get back out, whatever he can as far as farm goes.
And Envy's actually starting to stack the Ancients as well. So they are just all about trying to maximize their farm. And I mean, the supports are a little bit under-leveled at this point. The VS is only level 4 at 13 minutes. Jakiro's 7. Just suppose, okay, middle lane. TA is actually going to pick off Admiral Bulldog under the tier 1 tower. It looks like he just picked up his Blink Dagger, and I don't think that Admiral Bulldog was quite expecting that.
No. Well, he shouldn't have been that close if he was. And there's no vision. There's no vision on that side of the map that tells them anything. Like, as far as dive wards go, we've got one watching the bottom rune, with also a sentry with it, and one up here on the top lane. That's it. So summary of the wards.
And top lane, No Tidehunter's looking to try to push their first tower of the game. This tower is not quite in deny range just yet, and they don't have a glyph either, so I think this one's going to have to be sacked.
Coddle Blast, of course, makes it a little bit more difficult to get in. But still, they get rid of it, and then TP down towards the bottom lane. So S4 trying to get back down here, and of course now with his Blink Dagger and 2 points up in his level, we've got the initiation that can be there from No Tidehunter if they need to pull somebody in. But man, I'm surprised we're not seeing even a Sven in this game. Just the level of stacking that's coming out from both these teams. Any kind of camp they can get, they're going to do. Not amazing stacking for EG, but No Tidehunter, they're massively about it. Every single camp they possibly can, they're doing it right now.
The thing is, EG can't really contend it. There's a problem, the fact that the Magnus now has a Blink Dagger. They have Emerald Bulldog who has track. They have very, very good team fight. The problem is that EG can't ever go in blind. If they do, they're pretty much assuring themselves a team fight that's not going to go in their favor. The only ones who can really live through it are going to be the Lifestealer and the TA, but Reverse Polarity is still very, very good against those heroes. Goes through the Magic community. Heroes like Nyx, who have basically rushed a Midas at this point, can still be focused down and things like that.
Same Bulldog's next transition of items, so we're going to see Drums of Endurance coming up for him. And Envy just doesn't care as long as she stacks. While Fear continues to farm with the bottom lane, and he's basically got his armlet now. So Fear's starting to hit his stride. Just wondering if EG should be forcing something now. You've got Templar Assassin, she wants to kill, she wants to find openings. Got one pick off on the middle lane finding Admiral Bulldog, but that's it, you pick off a side lane hero. Mag is farming up inside the jungle now, he's taking care of most of that. Malk in this middle lane. Looking to have a bit of a crack at Admiral Bulldog, but it's just going to kill off the creep wave mostly, and Bulldog hides behind the towers. And Loda continues to farm up inside the jungle, working his way towards that BKB, now only being 1100 gold away from getting it. Now, the rate they're farming up the jungle, that's not going to be too long.
Well, no Tidehunter is doing a really good job of applying pressure to this TA as well. Just Admiral Bulldog sitting mid, just spamming track on the TA is going to make her a little more hesitant to try to move anywhere. Even going to a rune at this point is a bit scary. We see sentries drop in the river to try to get the ward, but it's actually not going to see it. So no Tidehunter still has vision here. They're going to be able to see the rune, and because I don't think EG even knows. Actually, they just pinged it. Maybe they do now. They warded it on the upside. Looks like Beatus just dropped it right there. So at this point, even going up to try to contest that Ancient Stack is dangerous because you have 2 tier 1s, especially the tier 1 bottom. That's a little bit too scary, and Envy almost dies to his own stack.
Yeah, he came in to try and deny the ward. In fact, he's going to die for this. He's going to die for this. Maybe not. He loses the aggro at the last moment. 133 HP. If anyone gets close to it, Beatus might even just be hoping to get himself a Fade Bolt. If he walks up just then, he will take it.
Invisibility.
He's looking so close to get Envy. And he can't keep that vision going. And now Coddle going to get ganked up on the top lane. Aki as well as Bulldog teaming up.
And no Tidehunters finding their kills, especially when Bulldog is there. That's always going to be more gold, of course, going in their favor. Looks like they're finally going to be able to sentry that, or yeah, get it killed. And S4 actually has to skewer out of his own Ancients just to not die to them. And at this point, no one can kill it. EG knows about it, so I'm assuming right now they're all kind of forming up bottom. They might want to try and go for it at the very least, contest it. And now Batrider's actually made pretty good strides getting himself back into the game. He's level 9. And he definitely did not have a start to warrant him having to level that fast, so I have to attribute that again to the stacking. He's going to have a blink at about 300, and I think that's where we're going to start seeing EG move around the map.
Dire's middle tower is under
Here's
attack.
EG at least pushing up that middle lane, tier 1 tower, in deny range now. So either no Titan will deny it, which they do so. Aki was here. I was going to say EG force it, but
Dire's
EG
bottom
said
tower
they don't want
is
to force
under
anything.
attack.
They're still not happy until they've got all their items they require. Like armlets up, but then again another 1500 coming the way of Fear. Blink Dagger now up on Demon. He's managed to afford that little sucker. Beat is walking around with nothing but consumables, but Geo, he starts up his own BKB with the Yoga Club coming up for him. And Demon on his way towards the mech, sitting at just under 400 gold for that. But then you look over towards No Titan, they got themselves braces, Blink Daggers, Boots, and Arcanes up on their big initiator. We've got Lifesteal coming up now for Admiral Bulldog. And it doesn't look like it's going to be the Vladimir's offering. It's just straight lifesteal, so he's able to tank up Roshan.
Well, this is something actually that Navi themselves have done earlier today. Whenever they play Bounty Hunter, if they go for a Vlad's, it just allows them to take the Rosh that much easier, and because they're actually on Dire's side, it gives them a slight positioning advantage. It's not huge by any means, but the fact that they have, again, a Blink Magnus at this point in the game, first polarity is quite easy to land in a very enclosed space, so EG just has a situation where they're trying to out-farm at this point, but because of just the sheer amount of stacks, top lane, we're actually going to see Batrider get a kill as well on S4 playing Magnus, so now EG is going to be able to push a tower, but the Ancient Stack is currently being done by no Tidehunter. It's just a matter of who's going to be able to get more farm, because at this point, both teams aren't really vying for map control at this point. They're just kind of sitting passively on their side of the map.
Well, there's Swap and Kill on Beaters on the bottom lane. And just to explain that top lane as well, we had Nakes jumping inside of Demon. So what looked like just two heroes moving a little bit closer towards Mag turned out to be a Nakes bomb. And that wasn't what he was expecting. Geo thinking about Admiral Bulldog. It's a good thing he stopped about it. He needed at least one more second before that meld hit was going to come up, and then Bulldog would have gone down. And then the Ice Pass from Jakiro, just ensuring that there was no real follow through from that. And the turn line be back to stacking again.
Bottom tower is under attack.
We can see that EG's actually made a pretty good chunk of experience at gold in the last couple of minutes. They've managed to take a couple of kills here and there. Nothing really huge. There hasn't really been a full-scale team fight in the 19 minutes that this game's been going on. It's only 8 kills total, so 3 to 5 at this point. It's just going to be down to fear, basically, for EG. They do have the Blink initiation now, so they can try to pick people, but it's going to be down to the warding. If you look at the map right now, there's basically nothing down in terms of actual warding coming out from EG. It's basically just trying to find somebody who's out of position without vision. Very difficult to do.
Would you believe? Loader back to farming. Full BKB now completed, so engagement time is basically now for no Tidehunter if they do want to try and force the issue. It looks like EG is trying to force the issue. We've got actually a Skull Basher flying out now for Fear. He's got a lot of cash this early on. 145 last hits for him. As he's got his net worth actually a little bit lower because the Bash is flying out. But 9.5 already up on the Lunar, and Loader's here on the bottom lane looking to defend. TA trap. Remember, he's still got that BKB if he wants to, but he wants the denial on the tower. And with that one hit, Geo getting caught in the ice path. Losing beam as well. Forced to pop up for fraction again, but loses all of his defense charges. Crew will come in, and there should be another denial tower. We've already had one go against EG. But the tower, actually just 9 points up. 9 points out of deny range. One trap to start on Loader. but no follow through. Maybe Geo wants to. BKB from Loda, and there goes your Sandy Eclipse, but Geo instantly into the refraction. Bounty does pick off Beaters a little bit off to the side. And maybe he wants to keep on going. Coddle inside a Spirit Form, but it's enough damage for Bulldog. Shuri toss off cooldown in 1 second's time, and now he's got throw at level 4 on that little sucker. Track's already up on Milk. He has to get in range. Now he does. Milk going down. They're fighting within this horrible Jakiro ultimate, and then Meld hit out from Geo. Loaded to TP out. Flame Break on cooldown. They cannot stop Loaded from TPing out. 3-2 at the end of the day.
That was a pretty favorable exchange, but you also have to consider things like track 2, so it kind of hurts No Tidehunter and it hurts EG as well. Fear basically was 1v3ing right there as Milk was getting chased out of the teamfight. He eventually dropped, but they committed so heavily that the lifesteal was basically just able to sit back there, and after the BKB wore off from Luna, there wasn't much she could do to help either, so I mean, EG manages to get a tower out of it as well, so all in all, EG comes out slightly ahead there.
Well, we'll see if they can keep that momentum going right now, because I'm looking at that Nakes. Right, he's assaulting 1v3, but he can do so. He's already got the items to do it. And we're seeing a large amount of attack speed coming out from him as well. Go through the armlet, go through the basher, go through the treads as well as the hand of Midas. It's just fast hitting. If we start seeing Assault Cuirass on him, life is going to be hell. But at the same time, Luna still fighting her farm. Yasha coming up pretty soon. And the BKB combining up with the Helm of the Dominator, combining up with Amanda style. That kind of thing, sure the BKBs are going to protect you, but the physical damage flying out is going to hurt like hell. Now S4, they are going to come in. 5-man Roshan attempt. They get rid of the TA trap very quickly, so the no EG knows what's going on. And that's why Aki and Envy, they're searching, they're looking, and they want to know who's coming in to defend it. And the first one is going to be Demon through the middle lane. And then 3 going to come down the river. There's an Invis rune sitting a little bit further down. Coddle Blast didn't penetrate far enough, so they've got to look inside with the Firefly and see that Roshan is not being done. They got to find someone. TA trap spots S4 for a quick moment, but no jump in, no lasso, no nothing like that. There wasn't really a position to do it.
I'm kind of in the situation where you feel like if EG goes first, they basically lose because they're giving the Magnus free counter initiate, but if they ever get drawn out into a team fight, No Tidehunter is going to be in a bit of trouble because even with Loda having that BKB, he's only got 1100 HP. TA and the Lifestealer alone with just a Bat Bomb is enough to kill her even with that on. Like the BKB is going to do nothing against the kind of magic damage that EG has. That's why you make the Basher, that's why you go for the Abyssal Blade, just to make sure that you have a method of locking down that Luna even through magic immunity to make sure that you can kill her before she does too much damage. But the later the game goes, Luna is a hero who builds very hard carry oriented. Some heroes like Lifestealer, because the way he's played, a Basher isn't a hard carry item. It's a way to disable basically through BKB and do extra damage when you can in the mid game. So we'll see if it manages to get him through.
Well, move up, move down, and still thinking about Roshan, but unable to make up their minds that Yasha is there for Loda. So he'll have to sell off his magic wand if he wants to pick it up, or does he give it to somebody else? The battle begins. And now, EG making the move down. They're starting to de-ward a little bit. Halaterra just saying hi. And Loda should be able to solo this one up. The question is going to be, Flame Break. Nope, can't. Doesn't penetrate far enough. Doesn't disrupt. Coddle Blast as well. A little bit of damage being taken by Loda, and he kind of wants to get out of this pit. You know, he's got no escape mechanism. There's the first hit. To run in. Maybe nice. Yes, reverse Blurry. 3 caught in it. Then the Ice Path to follow. And Fear. A lot of trouble. Huge Sandy Eclipse. Big damage. No one there for No Tidehunter. And it's already 3 on the sidelines. And Batrider, Demon, he's back. He's looking for Res 4, but he's able to blink himself away to safety. So buyback as well from, well, we got Demon moving around, but it's buyback out from the Nakes. And they want to go for it again. Invis rune up on Demon. Only thing that's saving him right now. There's no sentry wards from the Dire side. Roshan not dead just yet. Demon. There's an infest on him right now. It's actually the Nake sitting inside looking for an opening. There's the jump out. Right in. Nice Ice Path again, however, catching up both the heroes. They have, however, managed to bring down one. That's the Luna. There's one quick skewer charge back out over the trees and down to lower ground. And Fear, maybe thinking of one. Going for Aki. Bash, not going to be there. Turn around. Ice Path. Got to say Bulldog. BS follow-up Sun. Halaterra as well. And they bring down Fear.
Oh, that was such good coordination at No Tidehunter. Even Aki canceling his TP because he knew that there was going to be backup coming. The long distance shockwave coming out of S4. Just really good coordination. They were not expecting the kind of initiation range that a Blink Magnus has. Skewer is so unbelievably long. He blinked, skewered in, caught 3 heroes. Lifestealer almost lived through it, but that was a death, a buyback, and another death for Fear. So that really hurts.
Yeah, just look at him. Just so much cash being spent. But we did have the buyback as well from Luna. So both the big damage dealers getting dropped down a little bit more, but it wasn't as bad. And Roshan still available, sitting at half of his life and regenerating fast. I think both teams just not wanting to be part of this. They don't control enough right now.
And we talked about the possibility for Magnus Initiation. It's like a go big or go home kind of ultimate. If you hit enough, then you win the team fight pretty much every single time. You either force buybacks, especially around things like Roche. If you don't buy back for Roshan and you lose a team fight like that, you're giving away a gigantic advantage. They did ultimately stop No Tidehunter from taking it, but now it's to a point where if they don't win the next couple of team fights, Fear has just used so much money that he's going to have to pretty much go back to farming, which means he's not going to be helping his team. So now No Tidehunter has the opportunity to take map control if they want to.
Winning the next team fight is not going to be easy. We already know with that level 2 track, you're able to keep that nice vision, always chase down. S4's been getting great initiation for himself as well as the rest of his team. Now he's got drums up for his squad, and Aki just finished buying up his mech. So that'll fly out to him. VS just gives swap support as always. The Bulldog, he also goes BKB. Like, how you really supposed to shut that one down? And now we are going to see the movement coming out from Demon. Oh man, did he just get that last hit? Did Aki is caught? Maybe Fear trying to be in there too, knock enough damage. They're fighting in through that rule bounce up. Demon, Flame Blade, something, right click, something, finish. Aki gets it too. Meanwhile, a little bit further down, it's Loader. One quick stump, buys the time for Admiral Bulldog to get the right click in. S4 trying to find this one too, right on top of Geo. They've managed to get rid of the refraction charges and not take his life as well. Double kill going the way of Loader. Coddle Blast to be hit, but Demon is running away as fast as he possibly can. Demon is watching very, very closely. They can napalm stack from the high ground, and no one's really got anything they're going to do against him when he does this. He's wanting to wait for the right time. Flamebreak can push them all back out again. There's a Firefly. Starts off with the Blinding Light. Then the Coddle Blast. Roshan almost dead. Roshan, Aegis the Mortal will be picked up a Luna. There's the pick out. Magnus on really low life. And Melk wants to try and solo him, but nope. Quick skill right towards the high ground, and Loader is the one to get that kill out on Demon. And Melk locked in. Track kill again. Coddle Blast, not enough. 30 HP S4 will live on. Fantastic play by No Tidehunter. They're living on a B-stick of life, but they keep on killing off EG.
They're just getting these long, drawn-out team fights. They're getting kited around with things like track. The reverse polarity on Jay right there was good just to ensure the kill. They honestly didn't even need it for the majority of the team fight itself. They blink initiated in. Everyone from No Tidehunter was there. There was only 2 from EG at the very start. Demon committed heavily just to getting the kill on Jakiro instead of just backing up and trying to get into a better position. So ultimately, No Tidehunter is just outplaying them a little bit in these fights. And as time goes on, that's going to get more and more impactful. This Bounty Hunter is going to be level 16 by the next time these two teams fight. So you give away kills at that point, and you're going to be losing a lot of gold.
And that you are, man. We already just checked the graph, and it skyrockets down. That's what some people will call a drastic change in the experience graph. 10,000, maybe actually 11, maybe even 12,000 experience lost by EG just over that long drawn-out engagement. And the same for gold. We're looking at a change around of 7,500. So much to throw their way. Like track gold, and that was with EG killing Roshan in the middle of it. They were actually the ones that did that.
Yeah, this game is definitely looking a little more interesting now. I mean, there's still a possibility for EG to come back, of course. You can't really get rid of heroes like Nakes and TA just because of the fact that if they manage to coordinate everything properly, they can get anyone down very, very quickly. Even heroes with BKB, like I said, it's just a matter of minus armor. You have the Life Stealer, he's got the Basher up. The problem is that Fear's farm has completely stopped. He hasn't gotten anything in the last 8 or 9 minutes or so, and that's hurting him a lot. Again, the death, buyback death, that's like one of the worst things to happen, especially to a carry role. You want to ensure that you're able to get your impactful items up as fast as you can. If that didn't happen, he would have had his Abyssal by now. We could be seeing a completely different game.
That's definitely true. What would No Tidehunter really do against Abyssal Blade? And you just start beating down. Luna does no damage. Mag, he wants to come in and do something, cannot really do it. Well, Bounty Hunter being caught out. Look for those BKB heroes and just nail them down. But not really there, and we actually see the shoot being put on the other foot. Admiral Bulldog brought up a Skull Basher. So now he's looking at ways that he can shut down the Nakes or the Templar Assassin. Envy throwing out a stump, going to realize that's not real. Finds a fake demon. But No Tidehunter, they take the fight, and they're pushing at the towers now. Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane should take a fall. And the middle Tier 1 tower is not looking too great either, just staying above deny range. And they see another fake Bat Rider on the bottom lane.
I don't think No Tidehunter really wants to back here either. They just have such good initiation at this point. Their carry is getting quite a bit of farm, especially the more team fights they win. He's already got a full Manta and 3,000 gold on top of what he already has. He picks up something like a Butterfly, eventually finishes a Satanic. And, I mean, Fear's just not getting enough farm to compete right now with what No Tidehunter has.
Well, how do you even get in on that? It's even if they do want to get in close, you were talking about the last fight, they're getting kited around. TA's range isn't absolutely amazing. They go Tier 2 down in the bottom lane, and then instant TP up towards the top. They're trying to stop Geo, and in fact, Geo's going to be pulled back out by Coddle. So they don't have to worry about TPs to get him back out to safety. And S4 denies the tower on the top lane. So that's the third tower now being denied.
Yeah, they've denied quite a few, and they're just really, really good at the efficient plays. They make sure that JO doesn't feel comfortable enough to push the tower, get more gold under their belt. They're just getting more and more ahead at this point. And heroes like Lifestealer, while you don't really build him as a hard carry, he's meant to really get to this point. This is where he's usually going to reach his peak, but Fear just really hasn't had the game that he was looking for. And JO himself, too, at this point, he's got 2,300 gold, but he only has a Blink and a BKB. I mean, at this point, you want one more item, possibly a damage item like a Desolator, to make sure that you can just take people down that much faster, but they just don't have it together. And the longer the game goes, we're talking about the possibility of Refresher coming up on this Magnus. Double reverse polarity, level 4. That's 4 seconds each every single time you land it. If you hit more than 1 or 2 heroes, that's absolutely game changing.
Radiant's middle tower.
We've seen it, and we see it double times over sometime too with that refresher, but finally tower goes down the middle lane, so Loda takes care of that one. He doesn't want to stop. In fact, it looks like he's just trying to see if EG want to man up and defend this middle lane, but with the creep wave getting nuked down, Loda's happy to take up the tower. Still going to be another map, maybe 10-15 seconds before that creep wave's going to arrive, but Loda pops Manda, and he just destroys this tower. Backdoor regen won't kick in. Demon's thinking about having a crack. He's got Invis Rune to set up if he wants to go in with that lasso and then a 4-star. And that'll be before Loda can pop off that BKB. Nice swap back in again. Eternal Envy standing inside of the ice path so he can swap out the Rubik into the ice path.
This is really worrisome for EG. Still Aegis up on Loda. He doesn't even have to pop his BKB until he dies for the first time. It's actually recommended that you usually do that just to give yourself a way to get out of a team fight. But at this point, No Tidehunter is playing a little bit more passive than I thought they would. At this point, Lifestealer is sitting top. He has a TP if he wants to go back to base, and Roshan's not going to be up for another 5 or 6 minutes or so. I really figured that they would try to make use of this Aegis before it fades, but they're going to back up.
I don't really see the opening for it. How long have we got? It's actually exactly a minute now before No Tidehunter will lose that. And that could have been the plan. Just throw Luna on the front. Who gives a crap if she dies? There's your Abyssal Blade finally finished for Fear.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Desperately needed to have that. But it's, again, another risky situation. You spent all of your cash to buy up this item. What if No Tidehunter win another team fight?
Yeah, that's going to be really problematic. The thing with Lifestealer against Magnus particularly is if you get into a team fight and the Magnus catches you with your Rage on, that almost completely negates your magic immunity. Then you're caught out. You have no way basically of getting out of any disables that they have, which they have a lot of. They're going to have Swamp, they're going to have Magic Missile, of course, Skewer in some cases. You're going to get kited around with Track. It's not an ideal situation to be a Lifestealer in the late game. Ideally, you want to just be able to get inside the bat, pop out, whoever is lassoed, and just get the kill and get out. That's pretty much your job. But they haven't been able to really do that this entire game.
Looks like we're seeing a bit of a setup here now from No Tidehunter. Full Butterfly is completed up on Luna, and this is 32 minutes in this managed to happen, and they're going to smoke and try and gank around. At the same time, Demon's trying to do the same thing. We've got Nakes jumping inside that Batrider and looking for an opportunity. But the opportunity, if he finds it, is going to spell his own death. Because we've got No Tidehunter on the hunt. And they're going to find Demon. There's the Invis Room where, oh man, the timing. He blinks up to try and get a better position, but he goes down nonetheless. There's the skewer up towards the high ground and finds Fear up here. And that's going to be him jumping out, then swap back down again, keeping inside that Macro Pyre. Admiral Bulldog going to combine up, and it's going to be S4 with a double kill. Luna standing her own ground, pops the BKB, does all the damage in the world. And now on the chase for Beat is, he'll TP back out again, but this is not going to stop. This is not going to stop that mid-rack from going down.
Was another really good play from No Tidehunter. Unfortunate, they ran into each other smoked. That was pretty much worst case scenario. Fear and Demon were just looking for a quick pick, maybe assuming that No Tidehunter was farming, but they were all stuck together. And just like I said, he popped the Rage, got immediately reversed polarity when he went onto S4. By the time it wore off, his Rage was already gone, got swapped back into the Macro Pyre, and just had no chance, totally separated from his team.
Fortification going to try and push No Tidehunter back, and TA throwing every egg into one basket, buying up that Desolator already. And they keep on trying to push. Back to that tier 3 tower, bringing in a half-life. Mana Leak on S4, blinks himself away. No 4 stuff, so no extra movement. And now takes the remaining of the Mana Leak. Roshan's still got 3 more minutes. And EG will defend that mid. I would say defend, No Tidehunter just basically fall back, hence the defense.
Well, if they had taken a fight there and it was drawn out, there is a possibility that Roshan would have spawned with them having a couple of heroes dead, and that's not a situation you want to run into, because giving away a Roshan attempt to a team who is behind is just something that could get out of jail free card. You could take a team fight that you wouldn't have normally been able to win and maybe take some map control back, but they're going to play a little bit safe. I mean, this Magnus is going for Refresher. He had almost 5,000 gold. I think he just bought pretty much the entire thing, or will have it very soon, which means double reverse polarity for the next fight. It's honestly pretty easily to get into fights and land that. It's not really too difficult, plus you have 2 now. I don't know if No Tidehunter is going to have too much problems initiating now.
It's going to be so easy for them. I say so easy. It's still EG they're going up against. They're catching them completely out of position. Not the easiest thing. Like, the only reason why they caught him out last time is because Demon was trying to make something with Fear. And it was quite possible. Quick snipe off and then just jump back out again. You get a little bit of an advantage and get a little bit more space, and Noah's 4v5 for a little bit longer. But completely turned the opposite direction. And now Bounty Hunter finishes his own Abyssal Blade. He completed up with his Vlads as well as BKB. And they group up in the middle lane. Luna's continuing to find even more and more farm. Almost hitting 2,000 after buying that butterfly. Sitting as the most richest hero on the map. 20,000 worth of net worth. Sitting about 1,500 for the Bounty Hunter, and then Nakes comes into play.
I really like what No Tidehunter is doing here. They're walking up, they're aggressively positioning themselves. They know that in a 5 versus 5 team fight, EG is going to be at a disadvantage. So all they have to do is basically bully them back onto their side of the map and ensure that their waves are pushed towards EG's side. Top lane's going to be pushing out, but it's not a big deal, really. You just want mid and bottom, and we're going to see it Batrider ultimate on the Loda here.
Oh yeah, he's trying to... Is he holding Loda up there? Yeah, he's going to fly out a TP scroll. Loda's stuck, or someone with a 4-staff. Who's got a 4-staff out of this crew? I'm pretty sure someone had one. No. Refresher orb is done. Yep, TP scroll, forced to fly out.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So Demon getting a little bit cheeky.
It doesn't really accomplish too much. I mean, it's annoying, but he's going to be able to TP back to the tier 2, which they still have. Roshan's going to be up here any second now, and EG is still a little bit spread apart. They're going to have to make their way back towards that pit if they want any chance of stopping No Tidehunter from doing it. And because of the fact that they do have Empower, they have that Bounty Hunter who's already got Abyssal Blade up. He does a tremendous amount of damage. They're going to be able to kill it quite fast. I don't know if EG is going to be able to even react in time if they want to take the fight at all.
Oh, Malk, he was almost out of that one. Then Lucid Beam got the mini-stun cancelling of the TP, and he will go down, track kill. 43 seconds on the sideline at exactly the same time as Roshan spawns.
Now this is bad news for EG. They even were stacking the Ancients when they were getting the kill right there. Talk about efficiency. Just have the Ancient stack ready for you when you get a free kill because Melk's out of position. Now they're going to make their way towards the pit. They do have vision. Both teams know this is going on. Pretty standard. I don't know if EG is going to be able to engage into it. Batrider is actually still just sitting top and trying to escape right now from a very, very large creep wave and maybe even possibly push, but there's no towers here to push anyway, so another free Aegis here for Loda.
And we'll look to see either another pick-off coming up from No Tidehunter, or they just try and force it. They said have Aegis. We saw what they did with it last time, basically letting it time out. So maybe this time around it will get to pop.
Loda's going to have a Satanic if he wants it for this push as well. He's got the money to finish it. I think if he buys that, that's going to be a ridiculously hard push to stop. We're talking about you get through him once, he's probably going to have well over 2,000 HP once he finishes the Satanic. Then you have to kill him twice, and he's going to have the BKB for the second time he comes up, and it's still a 6-second BKB, so it's not a minimum duration just yet. And I think that's plenty of time to do the damage that they need, especially, again, with that Empower. The physical damage output of this team in the late game is very, very high.
So we'll see if they can take a Rax. See if it does require it to be 4v5 or if they can force it 5v5. So they don't really have these guys that just melt down towers until they get into the base. It's not like Lone Druid where you just throw the bear up on the high ground. Luna, of course we know what Luna's capable of doing once that tier 3 tower goes down. Everything bounces and no one wants to come in close. You lose the majority of your life, and with the attacks we've already seen coming out from Luna, it's even more dangerous. Looks like the Courier just flew something else in. Full Satanic is done. So full Satanic BKB, Butterfly Manta style. Life is hard.
And going on that Luna is pretty much a death sentence for EG. They can't ever really focus him, which means he's free to do whatever he wants. He has level 3 Eclipse. He can walk into the team fight, just throw out right clicks. And like you said, life is very, very hard for EG at the moment. There's a Desolator up on the Templar Assassin, but even with the Desolator and Meld, the Luna has 25 armor at this point, has evasion. No one on EG has an MKB. Focusing her is just too big of a risk. When you have heroes who are basically reliant upon doing physical damage, and you build a Butterfly, no MKB, that makes your team fight that much weaker. It makes that hero almost impossible to target for them.
So what do you really do in that situation? Do you try and pick up the supports? Do we go for smoke gangs and then pray you don't find the Luna? It's a hard situation. Even with the amount of farm that we've seen come out from Fear, and he's got 3.5k gold just sitting in the bank account. They'd have to go find him. It's going to be a straight push down the middle lane. And Geo, yep, there's the TP coming in from him. Blink in by Batrider. He managed to pick up Loda. If they can get themselves a kill, there's a double force after pulling back that far. He's thinking about holding, but he's got no mana left to do so. So forced back towards the tower. Flame Ray pushed him out even further. And then TA trap onto 4. Not really finding that opening. But they're definitely causing some issues for that Luna. And now they're going to come in closer and then Coddle Blast. Combining up with the Blinding Light. Life is just it's
Dire's
horrible.
bottom
It's
tower
absolutely
is under
horrible.
attack.
Oh,
Radiant's
nice
top
push
tower
up.
is under
Pushes
attack.
in closer, but maybe not even nicer. The tower goes down and the glaze bounces through and doing too much damage to anyone nearby. And this is almost going to be enough to kill off Demon if he's not careful. If he's stuck around any longer, it would have been. Mana Leak takes out Loda's mana. He's able to move back. Takes the stun and then retreats.
They're doing a decent job of defending this. It's just a matter of they're looking at a Luna with no mana, half HP, and they're still not going on her. They know that if they go on that, it's just going to lose them the team fight because she's going to come back, she's going to have everything up, and you're going to lose all your heroes. So EG did a pretty good job of not losing the racks right there, but the double force staff is pretty much the only reason it ever happened. He pulled him so far out of position that he felt even a little bit scared to try to go on him right there. So well done by EG, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to stop it 2 times in a row because they're farming back up.
Yeah, it's
And DD on this Luna as well.
going to be... Well, actually, the DD doesn't matter as long as Demon gets the initiation. If Demon gets the initiation and they get the Mana Leak off before the 4-staffs happen, then you're looking okay. But there's the initiation, so we go again. 4-staff, Mana Leak, 4-staff again, and it's a long way in. Desolator hit's already happening, and can pop sound in Eclipse. There goes the Man of Style. Gonna hold onto it for now, and BKB popping up. Geo taking it up, and maybe enough. No, S4's in there. There's your pull in. Buyback's gonna happen in a moment. There's Fear trying to come out. There's a double kill going the way of S4. Fear forced to take it, and he is brought down to Bulldog being in the middle of the fight. And this is buyback by Batrider, buyback by the Templar Assassin. They still want to hold their mid-racks. Coddle Blast goes through both of them. Geo comes out again. He brings down Bulldog. Can they get more? Flame Ray pushing out. Eternal Envy on really low life. S4 being forced to actually stay there, being stunned up because he had that Mana Leak on top of him then.
Radiant's middle barracks.
And Coddle Blast, Envy, called out from the edge. Malk able to snipe off one. Geo blinks off cooldown, starts up on the Luna, brings down Loda. So there goes Uragus the Immortal. And Batrider starts up with Napalm stacks, blinks in, catches up S4, no jump in, no ulti, and Aki trying to hold Geo in position. It's going to be long enough for Loda to finish off the job at the same time. We had Batrider pick off one a little bit higher up, and Aki still being hunted down, Loda being attacked. Now he's got Blink Dagger off cooldown. Mech Charge blinks very, very fast. As fast as he could away. Loda and Aki on the retreat, but they'd lose their mid-racks.
And we just see the strength of a double reverse polarity coming out from the Magnus right there. As far out of position as that Luna was, he even fumbled his Satanic attacking into Refraction, got no heal, and he still didn't even die once. He basically just sat in the base the entire time. Demon chased a couple of people out of the base. We saw the Eliminate kill. It's just a little bit too much. This Luna needs to be completely isolated from the rest of the team if they want a hope of winning a team fight.
Demon with an Invis rune. Looking at Loda. He knows he can't take that, or maybe he doesn't. He wants to throw him up on the high ground. Again, Demon being a twit. Blinks away, severs the bloody lasso. And then Loda forced to remain. 1 stack, 2 stack, and now away. And Loda showing some hatred towards Demon, who's just being a twat.
I don't think it's going to be too much of a bother, considering he's got over 5,000 gold. He didn't even have to buy a TP. He could just buy Boots of Travel and send them to him. If you're going to go back, you might as well go back in style, maybe even just go to a Creep Wave instead. He's waiting on a 6th inventory slot, not sure what it's going to be just yet, not sure how much it matters at this point either. I mean, no Tidehunter is very, very far ahead. They just got the racks middle. Roshan's going to be up in a couple of minutes. If they really wanted to, they could turtle it out, but in my opinion, they don't have to.
Yeah, they can go in whenever they want to. Whenever Roshan belongs to No Tunnel, they can just run in. And when that Heart's up on Bounty Hunter, just tank and go. Like, there's so many buybacks from EG in that last engagement, just so they could pick off, what was it, 3 heroes of No Tunnel, and it cost all the buybacks and the Aegis to the Immortal.
And all they got were supports and Initiator, so it's not really high-value kills. It's just trying to get kills for the sake of getting kills. And it looks like the item that Loda is making, by the way, is a Daedalus.
Oh man, add that extra damage. He's already sitting at 712 gold per minute. He's lapping up every single bit. I'm wondering if later on this game we might see him contest Black's 1,000 gold per minute.
It is a possibility. I think the game would have to go on quite a bit longer, though, and he'd have to get like every single last hit inside of the base once they get there, which is
every tower, every building.
As hard as he hits with Empower, I wouldn't put it past him.
It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. You got to remember too, Black, when he did that, he was playing for, well, it was known as the Good B team at that time, at Star Ladder, going up against MYM, who are getting completely dominated. We're talking about EG right now. Demon Fireflied inside the trees. Is he really thinking about jumping out right now with a blink? Yes, he does. He picks up the lasso, tries to pull him out. If Envy gets stuck on the high ground, Ghost Scepter out from Demon, hiding on the sidelines. Then we get 1 strike out, and that's one hell of a damage when Bulldog returns. And then Loda, TA Trap's going to slow him down. Coddle Blast as well, but attempted play there from Batrider to pull something out of nothing.
It was, I guess, kind of a cool idea right there from Demon, thinking that if he just got rid of the Luna, they could fight away from that little area and try to kill the rest of the supports and isolate the Luna by herself, but they could have even swapped her down. So, I don't know. It's an interesting play, to say the least, and I don't know if it necessarily would have mattered either way, but EG is trying to find any way to get themselves back into this game, so props to him.
You had that swap, and then you got double force stance up as well for No Time through Aki as well as through the Vengeful Spirit. You can't control Luna with just like moving her onto a hill. It doesn't work that way. Not when you got the supports there. But if they got rid of the supports at the same time, they're looking good. But we're seeing that full Daedalus and 1500 crit coming out from Loda, and this is with Glaives. This damage is going to be ridiculous. How long is this tower even going to survive? Backdoor regen, it can basically just, it can hate it. Loda loses a little bit of damage, but he doesn't care. The tower still takes that fall. Middle lane's being pushed in, and then look at Melk! He's forced to force-starve himself away just through the bounces through the towers. And Geo to try and hold the line, which he does do so, but they've lost their melee. There's a blink up. Now they've got it, but VS, quick swap. Very quick swap, disjoining, and then S4 jumps in. Demon and Geo both caught inside the ice path. Dual breath and the ulti out from Jakiro. And this is going to be a GG. Triple kill for Loda. Fierce doing what he can on the sidelines, bringing down Mag. Another ice path with the track kill. There's got to be the stun. There she lands. There she blows. Ultra kill for Loda. And he wants to get the rampage. Will he be granted or will he be denied? Force stuff down. Ice path will hit. Loda is currently taking out the racks. He will be denied. Bulldog will take it, but GG and EG now 1-1 in this group, and no Tidehunter. The Swedish boys nailing EG.
Really impressed with no Tidehunters play this game. They played, in my opinion, much better in this game than they did against Four Fronts. I don't think there's any real argument there. They still managed to win, which is good for them, but at this point, EG takes a loss, like you said, in a pretty hard one at that. We talked about early on how Luna makes a better transition into a hard carry than a Lifestealer would anyway. It's just, he had a really bad situation mid-game. He got shut down so hard. It took him a long time to get another item up, and when that happens, as a Lifestealer, you lose a lot of your presence in these team fights. He just wasn't able to get a lot accomplished. No Tidehunter had better team fight coordination. They always were able to single people out, kite out the Lifestealer, and just win team fights over and over again, and on the back of track, it was enough to win the game.
Yeah, that it was, man. And this is just that time when we go back to James and Gods, as you guys were watching on while all that was going on. What were you guys thinking?